30. So you can all walk, you can go, because I know we were officially going until 5:10, but I will stay here until 6. But any questions, you can open it up, anything at all. Go ahead.
You said that you always find a job first before you quit the old one. But you also said that on a daily basis you wrote 10 applications every day. How you could do that?
Okay, so the question is, if I'm working a full-time job, how can I send out 10 resumes and 10 cover letters on a daily basis? Okay, so number one, I called in sick. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, you can find your strategies. Maybe you take your PTO, pay time off, your vacation time to do it, because you still have to schedule interviews, right? I gotta go see the dentist. Again, the 3rd time this week, right? You gotta, oh, yeah, walk in. Oh. What's wrong with your leg? I don't know, but I should go see a doctor. Okay? And then, of course, you walk into the interview. Okay? And then you come back to work. Okay? I gotta go see them again in 2 days. Yes, 2 days. But the idea, you're gonna find ways. Okay? Now, of course, I use my weekends to generate the material. My resume, my cover letter, I can use the weekends. When I'm sending them out, yeah, it depends on where you work and what websites they limit you from surfing. But the great thing is this, is when you have the system and process, you can go home and use Outlook and set up all your emails, the 10 emails, in the evening, so they send the next morning when you're in the office. So there's always a way to find it. And there's always room for flexibility. There's always room for flexibility. It's what are your goals? How quickly do you want to find a job, and how many offers do you want to have available to you? Great question. Anything else? Yeah.
So when you talked about when you were working and you wanted to like lock the next job because you became uninterested in the one that you were in. So I have the same problem right now. I had 3 jobs, and every time that I wanted to change, I became uninterested in the past one, and climbing, right? But in my resume, after the MBA, I'm afraid that the headhunters or the employers would see like he has only stayed like at maximum 2 years per company, so screw. So that's
Good. Good. I like this question. The question is, if I've been changing companies every 2 years for 3 companies, and now I'm graduating the MBA, and I go try to find a job after, and headhunters go and look at it and go, okay, so I see that you, every 2 years you switch companies. Am I going to bet that my client is going to lose you in 2 years? Or, or the hiring manager goes, look, I don't want to hire people for 2 years worth. I want to hire people to do the job for as long as possible, possibly even growing within the company. You have to change your story. Okay, obviously, your story right now is you go in and they ask you point blank, what happened these past couple of years? You're like, I got disinterested. I just wasn't interested. You have to change that story a little bit. You have to figure out, number one, was it really you got disinterested? How were your managers? You have to think about, you don't have to answer these questions for me, but how were your managers? What was the company training like? What was the growth for you in those companies? Because at the 2-year mark, most companies there should be some opportunity for promotion between, working at a company for 2 to 4 years. There should be. It depends on the size of the company. If there isn't, then it's very valid that you can change companies, and that's how I did. I changed companies at 2.5 years, and I went up laterally. So I did get a promotion in another company. Now, if you just went from company to company, same position, you're going to have to figure out what your story is going to be, so it doesn't sound like, it just got boring. And part of that is knowing, again, going back to what are your strengths, where do you want to be, what function, what industry, what company, and keep in mind, if you choose company, I know a friend that worked at Sony. She, for her entire life, wanted to work at Sony. Boom, landed the Sony job, hated it, okay? But she was working for Sony, and it looks good on the resume. But she hated it. Why? Because the manager wasn't as good as the previous manager. And so keep in mind, even if you get into another company, it may not always be, there is no perfect job. There is no perfect job until you become the entrepreneur doing what your passion is. So when I worked for those Fortune 500 companies, yeah, were there elements that I didn't like? Absolutely. But did I stay focused on the free car? $5,000 worth of food? Absolutely. So and the fact that I was also successful in the job. But you have to go back, and feel free, all of you, you can email me your resume, your thoughts. I'll look at it. What I'm going to do is I can look at your resume and I can start sending you questions that the headhunters are going to ask you. And as long as you can have a solid answer to overcome that, you actually refine your sales pitch to be stronger. So send me your resume, send me your questions, send me the answers to these questions. What are you passionate about? What do you think your strengths are? If you just go, hey, Gerald, here's my resume, my cover letter, take a look at it. I'm going to be like, okay, your next step is send me the answers to the questions. Okay? Because otherwise I'll just send you a reply with those questions. As soon as you figure those out, it'll be much easier to work on your sales pitch. Good. Any other questions?
What's your email?
You're going to get it here. You can write it down right here. Right there.
Thanks.
Okay, or it could be gerald.rolese@gmail.com. gerald.rolese@gmail.com. Pretty straightforward. Any other questions? Anything else? Yeah, go.
I just wanted to know what motivated you to become an entrepreneur from just one day to another. Where just woke up in the morning and decided to just quit your job and become an entrepreneur, or what led you towards that path?
I found out what I loved, and by becoming an entrepreneur, I could still do what I was doing, being paid on a salary. What I did was there's a company that I used to work with and I was an employee, and I walked up to them and I said, hey, look, if I'm hired just as a sales rep, I can only do so much. Can we change my status so I'm a 1099 contracted consultant? And they said, yeah, let's do it. And from there, it just opened up. And I still had the core. I still was doing what I was doing, fulfilling the responsibilities they wanted me to fulfill as if I were an employee, but they also understood the potential of what could happen. And I didn't even know. I didn't even know I was going to write a book. Whoever thinks about yeah, I'm going to write a book. I'm like, I hate reading books, let alone write one, right? So, a lot of things have happened, and then to be able to lecture nationally to actual professional healers, it's been a joy. And like I said, being in this program and getting the internship right off the bat, and staying connected with the administration and working with the student government. We were part of the student government right here. Marcos and Joe, raise your hands. But we had a lot of fun running the student government. There was some drama. I won't go into the details, but it was a lot of fun. But that was my transition, and it doesn't always work that way for everybody. Certainly, you want to. If you look at even just in Taiwan, the small mom and pop shops, the Lubiantan, the people who are having a cart, they enjoy interacting with people, and they found a niche, right? And they're serving people a decent product, a decent quality, and so every day when I would go down and I would have like Mingao, and I wouldn't have Chodofo all the time, but I built a relationship with these people, and they're really cool people. And now when I go back to the MRT stop near Lingguang, off the Brown Line, they've got a bigger. I mean, they've expanded from a little cart to about a quarter the size of this room, and that is so cool to see it. But they're happy doing what they do. So you got to find what you're into. Good. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah, one over here.
Maybe I was just feeling that it was a very wonderful lecture, and there was a lot of seats which were left, so we could have actually used the resources. We could have actually opened the room for, other than the MBA, we could have also ensured how many people are coming, and we should have opened this up for other people also to enjoy, because it was a beautiful lecture and more people could have taken home something from here.
Oh, okay, so then again, it sounds like the concern was that non-IMBA people, if we could invite them, could have also benefited from this lecture?
Yeah, if the seats were going empty, we could have used it to get more people to enjoy the benefit of this presentation. It was a great presentation.
Okay. I appreciate the feedback, and that's great feedback we can do. We can definitely offer it the next time I'm in Taiwan. I don't know when, because my boss, my wife, wants to work on the second kid, so it might be a little busy with two little kids, but yeah. And that's one of the benefits also why we recorded it this time. for those who weren't able to attend this session, and maybe you can share with the other IMBA. You know, first and foremost, I'm here because I want to give back to the IMBA program for what it's given to me. And so if you can, you know, even after you've long gone and graduated, you can contribute back somehow, do so. You know, I enjoyed talking to each one of you. I know we don't have really a chance to get to know each other, but you know, if we ever do through email, phone, whatever, you know, I'll much appreciate it. And I always love seeing old classmates. Yeah.
So we're gonna have this video on YouTube or something?
It won't be on YouTube, I think, but they'll have it. Maybe if it's YouTube, it's password protected. I think that'll be good.
It will be on the IB website.
Okay, on the IMBA website, which I believe you have to log in, so that'll be good. Yeah.
Can you talk about what's the most rewarding part of the experience you had in the IBA program?
Most rewarding experience of it all. You know, the whole thing. You know, the whole 2 years of just, you know, learning, becoming more proficient in Chinese, learning about having an IMBA degree, my internship, my interaction with the American consultant, and later then working with him, working with the awesome administration, and being part of the student government. I think all of that really made it. You know, coming to class, we all have to come to class and take notes and pass exams. Yeah, that was good too, but really everything extra is what made my experience the best. So if any of you are considering joining the student government, you know, I think they have elections early next year, if that's still the same trend.
December.
You know? December? Okay, get involved. Continue working with Jean and Nietzsche and Samuel to figure out how to support them and their cause. You know, we even, I think our year, we were able to the year after, host the GBC, with the Global Business Graduate Forum.
Graduate business.
Yeah, and you know, here in Taiwan, and that is hosted by schools like Yale and UC Berkeley, UCLA. You know, we did a lot that year, and it was a lot of fun. The classes are fun too. Professors are awesome. Totally, you get both sides, Asia and US, or Western, Eastern, everyone in the middle. It's pretty cool, you know, within itself. But the extracurricular stuff is where it's at. Good question. Anything else? Yeah.
How to find a good consultant for your business? Because there's a lot of choice,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't know which one is more suitable for your business.
Good question. The question is, if you're an entrepreneur or, you know, how to find the best consultants for you. It's the same when you find a good Chinese medicine doctor, Zhongyi, a good healer, a good accountant, maybe even a good MBA program, right? Referrals work well. Start with referrals. Start with people you know who have had success with others. So everyone I've worked with has been referred to me by someone else. And I worked with, in total, five different business consultants and coaches over the past 5 years. And they've all helped me grow in different ways. Grow in different ways and grow at different times. And in some situations, I will go back to a different one at different times. So you never have to limit yourself to one and only one. And they too are also to see, are you a good fit with them? You know, so it's a relationship. Call them up and say, hey, can we have an informational interview? You know, and that's the same thing you can do for people who are in an industry that you're looking to get into. If you're looking to get into like equity trading here, finance sector, you know, you call up Marcos and go, hey, can we grab some lunch? I'd like to talk to you about what you do at Sinovac, right? And so, you know, that's what, just start talking more with people, have these conversations, get referrals. Any other questions?
At which point of your life you realize you want to be your own boss, and what was the reason?
The day after I got married. No. Just kidding. You know, there's never really a day. You know, so I get that question asked. At which point did you want to stop selling chemicals as medicine and start using food and herbs? There's never really like a moment. There's always a couple nudges here and there. Because you can never be just, it's like some people say, you want to be your own business person, go out and do it. And you do need to get some training. You need to get a foundation. You know, you need to get some groundwork. And so it's not always, you may want to, and I've done small little things in the past. So I can remember my first job is in high school. I was a sophomore. And I like those lollipops. You know those lollipops called blow pops? They have gum in the middle. And I just like that. You know, go to high school. It wasn't Singapore, obviously, so you can chew gum in class. And then I started having classmates going, hey, can I get one? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then another one asked, here. And all of a sudden I'm like, man, I'm out of blow pops, what the heck? Right? And then I was like, oh. Next day comes, hey, can I get a blow pop? Yeah, quarter. Next one, quarter. And then the next day I was like, they're like, hey, can I get a blow pop? Yeah. Can I get 2? I'm like, sure, you can get 2. That's 50 cents, but if you give me $1, I'll give you 5. Okay. And I did that for a couple of months until the principal called me over. No. But I didn't have to pay taxes. That's the best job, right? I didn't have to pay taxes and no one knew, right? And unfortunately, a lot of people get cavities. But the idea is that, you know, you're going to find opportunities if you look for them and you're ready for them. And when I was in undergrad, I had my job as my waiter, but I also had another passion of what I was doing, which was training in the internal Chinese martial arts. So you've heard of Bagua, Wing Chun, Tai Chi. I was training in that, and I became a teacher. And so I was teaching and doing something I really loved at the time. And I was making money. So the concept of money was extra. And that's where it's important. It's you first find what you love. And then you become your own boss when you feel that you can expand beyond the current constraint of your employer. So that's really, I think, you know, so as a time as to when that happened, it was just like, you know, I was talking with my manager at the time. I'm like, hey, you know, I think I can do more. I think I can do more. She's like, let's do it. And at that point, I set up the LLC, got my lawyer, got my accountant, you know, just did the official paperwork. It's not that difficult when you go into running your own business just by yourself. But when you start getting employees, you got payroll, you got benefits, you got other responsibilities. But that's also not a big deal. It's not a problem. You can handle that. You can grow up organically. Now, different avenue. I have a friend. He went to Berkeley. He went into Merrill Lynch, and then he went to the MBA school at Kellogg. And now he did it the other route. He had a concept of selling sushi rolls the size of burritos. So there's a brand called Sushirito in San Francisco. And he had that brand, and he tested, he did his market research, and he did the different route of, I'm going to go and get angel funding, get some seed funding. And he's got, he got $250,000 of actual financing for first round. Opened his first shop, boom. Then he went for $500,000 financing, opened 2 more shops, and now he's up to 5 shops. You know, and that's a different route. So it depends on what level of entrepreneurship you want to be, of course. So he had the experience, though, of working in investment banking, so understanding that whole angle and process, so you can go that direction. My direction is, okay, becoming an expert, a specialist, someone who's actually enjoying what you do. You know, for him, he's looking at an IPO or sell his company. He's not really all into eating sushi-sized burritos every day, but I can talk about health-related topics every day. You know, but sometimes I do, unfortunately. And my wife goes, stop talking about religion. Good. Any other questions? Okay. All right. I think we're good. Did we have any announcements that we or anything at all? No pressure.
And so now Mr. Samuel Chen, the director of the IMBA program, will give a gift as a token of appreciation to Mr. Olis.